All right, everybody, welcome back. It's going to be game two here between Ottr and Leonseed on Yansu. Looking forward to this one. All right, let's go. I have players catch up here. Now, I do have the Brood War soundtrack enabled, so we should be able to hear that this time. It doesn't come up in Game Heart Light, unfortunately, and I wanted to use that for Fruitland, but we're going to go normal style here, just the Game Heart interface. Hopefully, the Brood War soundtrack will actually work. Alright, guys. In the top right of the map, we have here, sporting the pink Protoss colors once again, is our victor of the first game, Leonseed. She takes this one, she takes the series, but her opponent in the bottom left definitely doesn't want that to happen. It is the green Zerg Ottr. If she takes this match to bring things to 1-1, we'll be moving on to Polar Knight next. Yansu, Yansu, Yansu. Of course, known, generally speaking, for its wonderful artistic style. Snow cutting half the map into grass and forest on the other side. It's a very, very nice looking map. Its features from a player standpoint are of course also well known. These rocks cutting the second and third in half, and the more kind of flat side in this direction. The other optional third closer to your opponent, a little bit easier to harass, but can be taken immediately. Two Xel'Naga watchtowers in the middle, watching the main pathways. But much like Fruitland, it's still possible to walk around them if you know the exact way to do it. Probe Scout here from Leonseed actually moving up to the base. Wants to do a quick check, see if there's any early pools. It looks like Ottr isn't doing anything particularly crazy. And that's respectable. Stick with what you know when you're in doubt sometimes. Going for a cheese play isn't bad either, but it looks as if, given this map, especially with the choke point up here, that most likely would get held off pretty well by Leonseed. Looks like Otter's actually trying to go for a hatch first here. So yeah, pretty much the same thing as last time. Jordan actually going to stay tailed onto the pro. Don't know if this is a mistake or if she is actually just trying to send it out there so she can get a scout off herself. Down comes the hatch. A little late maybe actually, but nonetheless, should be a spawning pool coming up soon next after this. Back in the base of Leonseed, we can see just going for a quick gas here. Oh, not quick, sorry. Normal timed gas. Really, really late, unfortunately, on this next car. Ah, there we go. I was actually getting a little worried about that. This can be a pretty bad thing to forget. Really delays your tech pretty badly if you don't catch that right away. Checking the chat to see if anything interesting is going on over there. Looks like people just discussing builds, kind of usual stuff. Nothing particularly unusual there. So, here's the thing, as a Protoss player, you usually want to get this second gas up a little quicker. Might delay things a bit, but having the one gas when she does give her time to grab a quick mothership core and get a there you go, nice move there. Get a soccer out pretty quickly. Delaying the gas too much further, though, unfortunately, delays whatever tech you pick, so that's a potential problem for Leonseed here. There's also been, it looks like she's been delaying any attempt to grab a Nashville for quite some time here. It's pretty unusual to actually wait this long. Usually you tend to see Protoss try and grab that base around 20, maybe a little bit before, but not happening this time. Leonseed a little bit supply blocked here. Would be capable of actually grabbing another unit out in just a moment, but oh, nope, okay. Looks like she wants to spend that money on something else. Going for a second gateway here. Still delaying that natural even further. Meanwhile, back in Otter's base, nothing particularly unusual either. Looks like a quicker lair than normal, but grab that second base, going to be droning up, and looks like we're going to be hanging out and just waiting for a bit for this to get started. Sentry coming out, top of the back of that. Warp gates. No forge yet. No attempt to pick up the second base. Even still to this point. Yeah, okay. 3 gateways in a row, Bo. I wonder, this is actually very, very, very old. what we're seeing here. This is 3-gate Robo, either into an expansion or into some kind of timing attack. This particular build was something I think that was popular early on in Wings of Liberty. It's not particularly strong anymore, but it kind of depends on what you're running into. It does give you the ability to get a pretty decent sized army pretty quick though, so it's possible that she might be going for a timing attack with that. If Ottr really over focuses on her macro, it's entirely possible, or if she doesn't spend her money too well, it's entirely possible that it could become a deadly, if antiquated build. We'll see here. Spire actually coming up. This is really brutal, actually, against this build. While you do get the early robotics facility, you can start Colossus tech very fast. If Leon Seed hangs back and tries to go for an expansion here, she's really going to have almost nothing against these mutas. Presuming, again, that Otter is able to get them out really well. So this is a good potential. This is a good position for Otter going forward here. Again, you know, assuming everything stays correct, doesn't get badly supply blocked or anything like that. Got to remember, both of these players have not played in quite some time, in addition to being unranked. So, little mistakes can always trip things up. Still keeping up with the drones. Doing fairly well on the injects as well, actually. I'll notice this with Otter. Doesn't have the second queen down here yet. Oh, there it is. Never mind. Eye is getting a little bit messed up there. But yeah, actually keeping the energy fairly low on the queen, so it's pretty good work. Lack of creep spread, though, which is a potential problem here. It's actually going to make, it would actually make holding off any kind of Phoenix play very difficult, but as you can see, it's actually not too relevant for the moment. Back up here, 3 sentries. So still mostly just a gateway tech army. 4 mutalisks coming out with really almost no anti-air. Oof. You do have the photon overcharge, which is going to help out here, and actually enough energy on this to do it twice. So this is a nice setup here, potentially, for Leon, as long as she doesn't lose that mothership core right away. So you can at least hold this at bay, if not hold it off completely. Definitely can delay it for a while before it starts actually getting any real damage done. And you can see there, units lost tabs showing virtually nothing. Neither player really interacting with the other just yet. 4 mutalisks now in play, 3 more about to come out. Looks like a spore crawler coming down. Where's this? Ah, main base. Do have to get these out. There's the threat of DTs. At any time in the game, you got to remember that. Having some detection at about this point of the game, even if you're not getting rushed by DTs, it can still be good. The Protoss can just flip into that direction at any time. Leanne's seats, looks like she's gotten a little bit supply blocked here, actually getting quite close to 64. Does she have cooldown on the warp gates? Actually can't tell, unfortunately, with the Game Heart interface. It does have some drawbacks, even though it does look really pretty and gives you a great view. There are a couple things that you can't tell. But also you would, you know, a little bit messing up here on the pro production with Leanne, actually not keeping consistently getting those workers out. From what I can tell. Nope, doesn't look like it. Happens to everybody. Like I said, you have these little elements that always come into play in this situation. +1 attacks coming out for the mutalisks here. Might be done shortly. Numbers actually gotten to a fairly frightening amount here. 10 mutalisks actually running up against this army. There is really only sentries and the mothership core, plus a stalker. It's going to be pretty rough to hold this off. That the observer did see this though. It's a question of whether or not Leanne Seed herself actually picked up on that. Couple stalkers warping in, so usually I think probably an indication that she did see it. Though we do have a Twilight Council coming out as well. For some reason, my interface is not letting me just bounce over to it like it normally would. That's a little bit strange. I've noticed that there has been a couple problems with this lately. Anyway, good photon arbitrage comes down immediately. Good control from Ottr, actually getting away from the army, not taking too much extra damage. Just going to lose 1 mutalisk right there, but now the main is completely open with actually no defenders at all. Coming in for the attack, already starting to kill some probes here. You can see that the Protoss, unfortunately, is not reacting to this very well, keeping the entire army off to the side. No attempt to actually make any photon overcharge at this point either. And Otter's actually going to be able to do a lot of damage right now. Killing not only this pylon off, grabbing another worker, another 2 workers potentially, another pylon as well. But, oh boy, okay, photon arbitrage does come out, but the mothership core get dangerously close to the army right there. And the army of Otter is actually able to escape without taking too much damage. So, very nicely done there. Causing a total of about 825 damage in resources right there, only taking about 300 herself, having lost a drone earlier. More mutalisks produced on the back of that. And, okay, energy's starting to climb a little bit on the Queens there. So, Macro slipping up in the middle of this, but is getting a base behind this, and has kind of wrong-footed the Protoss here a little bit. Blink coming out, this is going to help holding this off, but unfortunately, as the Mutalisk numbers grow, this gets very, very, very scary for the Protoss. Unless the Protoss actually switches into Phoenixes, it can be very, very difficult to hold this off as the numbers get bigger and bigger. Or even Archons can help out with it. They do a lot of great damage against the Mutalisk, but unfortunately they're slow, they have very small range, and it's very easy for the Mutalisk player to actually just avoid them entirely. Also, the Mothership Core is going to be very low on energy for a while here. Maybe only one Photon Overcharge next time the Mutalisks actually come out for an attack. And, okay, Ottr getting 6 more Overlords out. Let's make sure she doesn't get supply block. You know, overkill is better than underkill with respect to this, guys. If you are working on not getting supply blocks yourself, it is better to build more than less. Obviously not ideal, but it's better to be in that direction than the other. So yeah, Blink coming out here. I gotta say, I feel for Leand. This is a place I found myself in a lot before I used that Phoenix build, and even then I still lost this sometimes. Got to control really well against the Mutas. Here comes the Mutas actually attacking right into the Stalkers, going to cut down on their numbers right away. This is going to make this actually very difficult to hold off. There are 6 more Mutas there, but as you can, 6 more Stalkers there, but as you can see, the Mutas numbers have actually just grown to such incredible numbers now. They even take out the Mothership Core, no Photon Overcharge to help this out, and the army of the Protoss has basically just been decimated. There is pretty much nothing to hold this off anymore. It's going to start continuing to lose even more units here, not even bothering to go for the mineral line at this point. And gotta say, this is a solid return strike from Ottr here in this game. Looks like she's going to be taking this one. Our victor is the Green Zerg this time. Let's move on to game 3.